A teenager is charged with attempted murder.
But it is believed that this was a premeditated attack and targeted towards certain individuals.
A 17-year-old in custody after allegedly rampaging through Lester B. Pearson High School. Plus, transit operators demand more protection.
That you're at risk every time you go to work.
Will a 4-year sentence delivered today for a violent 2025 attack shield other drivers? And this crochet queen has found her muse.
The internet absolutely loved it. Like, it brought so many smiles to people.
Part hobby farmer, part crafter, she's got everyone in stitches.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Tara Nelson.
Hello and thank you for joining us. A Calgary teen is charged with attempted murder after an attack at a Calgary high school. It happened yesterday at Lester B. Pearson, which was put into lockdown. Alicia Fieldberg joins us. So Alicia, take us through exactly what happened there.
Tara, police got a report just after noon yesterday that a teen was at the school with a knife. He was smashing property, threatening students and staff, and attempted to stab a particular student. That's when Lester B. Pearson High School in the Northeast was locked down. While officers were on the way, they continued to get reports about the suspect moving throughout the school. And police say once they got inside, they found and arrested the suspect in about 6 minutes. One student had minor injuries but did not need to be taken to hospital. Investigators believe this was a premeditated attack targeting certain individuals. Now police have charged a 17-year-old former student with attempted murder, uttering threats, and mischief to property under $5,000. Police say this was a very serious incident, and it highlights the importance of lockdown drills that are practiced in Calgary schools. And they say the way that school staff and officers responded meant everyone was able to return home safely.
Collective quick actions and response, along with significant investigative steps yesterday, combined with the school's preparedness, no doubt saved lives. I'll repeat that, it no doubt saved lives.
I'm very proud of the work of our staff, specifically at Lester B. Pearson School yesterday, and the way in which those previous partnerships that we have already established with CPS resulted in safety for our students.
This was a traumatic attack, and the school board is offering support services. Anyone who may have information about the case is asked to contact police or give an anonymous tip to Crime Stoppers. The accused can't be named under the Youth Criminal Justice Act. He's scheduled to appear in court on June 22nd. Tara?
Okay, Alicia, thank you. A Calgary man who brutally attacked a bus driver is being sentenced to 4 years behind bars as transit workers across the city continue to call for justice. Mark Villani has more on the court proceedings and a rally that is renewing calls for stronger protections against violent criminals.
If you assault a transit operator, you need to go to jail.
It's a message heard loud and clear from transit workers across the city, rallying Friday ahead of a sentence hearing for a man convicted of violently attacking one of their own.
They knew that that transit operator was going to be at that area, isolated in the middle of the night with absolutely nothing around. And what do you do?
If you're working at the city, if you're serving Calgarians, you deserve the same opportunity as if you were employed in any other prospect, to be able to finish your shift safely.
The incident sparking concern occurred around 1 a.m. on May 14th, 2025, when 20-year-old Curtis Baker Spence and his 22-year-old brother Daryl Flett boarded a bus at Castle Ridge and Falcon Ridge Drive. Court heard Baker Spence attacked the driver with a collapsible baton, and Flett hit him several times with an edged weapon. 67-year-old Amarjeet Graywal was the victim, suffering serious injuries that still prevent him from returning to work. A judge sentenced Baker Spence to 4 years in prison Friday. With credit for time served, he won't be released until October 2028.
It's an aggravating feature to commit an offense of violence against a transit operator. They're entitled to protection, and any offense committed against them is serious.
In the meantime, the city says it's committed to enhancing safety measures, starting with investing $15 million to retrofit all buses with highly secure protective shields. But some say it shouldn't stop there.
What we need to do in this upcoming budget is to provide funding to hire more transit peace officers so we can properly do enforcement.
And as Calgary Transit aims to hire 800 more workers, its union says that won't happen without sending a message to criminals.
They need to be punished.
Mark joins us from the Calgary Court Center tonight. Mark, this case is still ongoing.
Yes, Tara, the co-accused in this case, 22-year-old Daryl Flett, previously pled guilty to aggravated assault. Now, he won't be sentenced until August 21st. The transit union also saying that these sentence hearings are very important. They want courts to consider Section 269.01 of the criminal code when laying down these punishments. That provision requires judges to treat assaults against public transportation workers as aggravated. The judge did consider it when laying down the decision today as those transit workers continue to push for harsher punishments. Tara.
Okay, Mark, thank you. A WestJet flight heading from Denver to Calgary didn't even get off the ground yesterday. The pilot declared an emergency because of a problem with the tires.
Both tires are blown, so I guess are we just sitting on no rims?
That's affirm. Both tires are blown on your left main.
Video of the plane on the runway appears to show two shredded tires. In audio obtained by NBC News, the control tower can be heard telling the cockpit there was a problem with the tires. WestJet tells CTV News passengers were bussed back to the concourse. A cyber incident continues to impact Mount Royal University. The problem was detected Wednesday. The university says it took steps to contain the threat, which has disrupted its web services and on-campus internet and telephone service. Officials say students should attend their exams as scheduled unless they are told otherwise by their instructor. Staff are being asked to work remotely if possible. Security experts are still investigating the breach, and they have not yet determined if any personal or other data was accessed. Calgary teachers say a worsening problem is leading to overtime, burnout, and sometimes ballooning class sizes. Currently, there aren't enough substitute teachers in the system, leaving hundreds of vacancies unfilled every day. Tim Brooke has more on who suffers and on what's being done to help.
As the school year winds down, many Calgary parents got some good news this week. Letters like this were sent out promising additional teachers are on their way. They're badly needed.
I think they could definitely use more resources.
The more the merrier.
I sometimes struggle to parent just 3 little boys, so I can't imagine being a teacher for 25 students.
Maybe the happiest about the new hires, existing teachers.
I want to say that it will be solved so that my workload and my overwhelm and my burnout go down.
Part of the issue is right now, there aren't enough substitute teachers to go around. That means classroom inconsistency, overtime, and sometimes doubling up classes.
That tiny little time you have carved out to get anything done while you're in your school day, we end up losing that. So you start internally covering. If you're lucky enough to have filled your need and have enough substitutes for your school, we might redeploy so that another school who's super short or has none would get 1 or 2.
Every school board we talk to is short, but no more than Calgary's public system. Between September and March, more than 18% of CBE's sub-jobs went unfilled. In fact, 1 week in April, the board averaged 209 unfilled spots a day.
This has been a difficult year, and that has been a year that we have had labor action.
The CBE points out numbers can fluctuate, but it hasn't been easy. And even those new hires won't solve the problem.
We're very much happy that we're seeing an investment in education, but we've hired over 118 teachers into our classroom complexity teams. So with that, you're hiring people off your sub roster.
The talent pool is only so large. That's why the Education Ministry says it wants to strengthen recruitment and retention. But until reinforcements arrive, expect the sub-problem to stick around long past the summer. Tim Brooke, CTV News, Calgary.
The province recently announced funding for 1,400 more teachers for the 2026-27 school year. Newly created complexity teams are also on the way. Calgarians who want to do some stampede boot scooting at the new Cowboys Park will run into noise restrictions, and the company behind the party says that's not fair. Penny Lane Entertainment is busy putting up a massive tent at the former Millennium Park. It has now been renamed Cowboys Park. Last year, the city received 126 complaints about noise and reduced access to the skate park. This year, the city says weekday concerts must end at midnight and the sound level must come down. Penny Lane disagrees, but the ward councillor says the company should not be getting any special treatment.
It's not about one particular space or one particular festival. It's making sure that the entire ecosystem thrives. The comments I'm making are around the sponsorship, use of public space, whether corporate sponsorship is the right way to be funding public park space, and making sure that we have public accountability when it comes to the use of public amenities.
The city and Penny Lane have a 10-year sponsorship agreement for Cowboys Park, the details of which are not publicly available.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
It might be sunny in the city today, but don't put those skis away just yet. Sunshine Village is set to welcome snowboarders and skiers to the mountains. The Banff Resort saw so much snow over the winter, it's going to stay open beyond Canada Day. Our Jordan Canagan got a sneak peek.
Grab your goggles, step into your skis, and put on your shorts and a t-shirt. Summer skiing has arrived in the Canadian Rockies.
When we got to the end of our ski season, we're looking around and we said, holy macramole, we still have a ton of snow left. It is a certainty that we'll be able to open for summer skiing.
Sunshine Village in Banff National Park is open to snowboarders and skiers from June 20th to July 5th. The hill receiving more than 1,000 centimeters of snow during the winter season.
We basically had the cat operating daily throughout from the time we closed until now to push snow, move snow, pack down the snow that we have to make it skiable because conditions do change.
For the first time in 35 years, 2 chairlifts will operate for the summer ski. Standish and Strawberry, 7 runs, and 3 terrain parks will stay open for the 16 days as well.
Pretty amazing. I'm from Ontario and I moved to Canmore, so to be skiing in June, especially in the middle of June, is unbelievable. I'm so stoked.
Oh, it's fabulous. You're not cold. You don't need to worry about anything other than sunscreen.
Sunscreen and cowboy hats and a lot of denim.
We went all denim. The rodeo's coming up here at the Calgary Stampede, but we're a little bit early, and that's okay.
Now, Sunshine was also able to open for summer skiing in 2022, but only for 6 days. This year allows skiers and snowboarders to get their turns in for more than 2 weeks. Jordan Canagan, CTV News in Banff.
Well done. Summer skiing is free for anyone who's already bought next year's season's pass at Sunshine. Otherwise, lift ticket prices vary by age, with the adult pass topping out at $80. The Canada Strong Pass is back for the busy summer travel season. The pass also includes a discount on camping fees and Via Rail tickets. Alberta is participating in the program, which means free admission to provincial museums and historic sites for children 17 and under. Those 18 to 24 pay half price. There's no need to sign up, and no physical or virtual pass is required. The pass is good starting today until September 7th. Well, we're heading into the Father's Day weekend. Danielle joins us now. We should probably get out and just enjoy it tonight, just in case.
I mean, let's take Jordan's cue right there, who is out skiing today. You can do so many things this weekend. However, the weekend will not be as nice as the weather we had today. There will be moments, though. Okay, 20 degrees is the temperature right now. Look at that beautiful sky. The winds have been calm. The sun has been out. We'll gust up to about 40 kilometers per hour as we head through the evening. Quiet overnight. For tomorrow, that will be one of those moments in the morning. So throughout the morning hours, 13 degrees at 8 a.m., a mix of sun and cloud. But by 1 in the afternoon, that's when we get into the chance of showers and thunderstorm activity. You're looking at a high of 19, and it will get quite gusty for tomorrow afternoon, gusts up to 60 kilometers per hour. I'll be back to talk about that Father's Day forecast, Tara.
Thank you, Danielle. Canadians with multiple myeloma have been anxiously waiting for a promising form of immunotherapy to become publicly funded. It's very expensive, and after nearly 3 years, some worry their time may be running out. And you really need to see it to believe it. A colossal sturgeon. Wait until you hear how long it took to reel this in. The body of a worker who drove a crane truck off a bridge near Grand Prairie has yet to be recovered. RCMP say a large commercial vehicle went off the bridge Tuesday. It is now submerged in the Wapiti River. Divers haven't been able to get to the vehicle because of the strong current. Occupational Health and Safety says the driver died. The cause of the incident is still under investigation. An RCMP police dog is recovering after being hurt on the job. Pascal was part of a team tracking an armed robbery suspect in High River Tuesday night. Officers say the German Shepherd was seriously injured during the pursuit, but they haven't revealed how. The 4-year-old dog was taken to a Calgary vet for treatment. His handler says Pascal is now recovering at home, and if all goes as planned, he should be better in about 6 weeks. Multiple myeloma patients across Alberta are hoping a breakthrough cancer treatment could soon become publicly funded. The one-time therapy has shown the potential to keep some patients in remission for years, but it comes with a price tag of hundreds of thousands of dollars. As Mark Villani reports, patients say time is running out for those who have few treatment options left.
You know what? I didn't think I was going to get the chance.
The chance to watch her daughter grow up, to travel to Scotland with her elderly father, and to live her dream of being a grandmother. All of it nearly vanished following a trip to the hospital.
My oncologist said, "Oh my goodness, your rib cage lit up like a Christmas tree."
Laura Lee Dalrymple was diagnosed with multiple myeloma 17 years ago. It's the second most common blood cancer in Canada, and there is no cure.
I've had numerous rounds of radiation. I've had fractures. I've had breaks. I've had a metal rod put in my femur to prevent a break.
But a breakthrough one-time treatment is out there. In 2023, Health Canada approved Carvykti, a type of CAR T-cell therapy that uses a patient's own immune cells to target and attack cancerous cells. It's shown potential to keep some patients in remission for years. The only problem, it costs hundreds of thousands of dollars, and it's not publicly funded anywhere in Canada.
The beauty of this treatment is that it's a once and done. So you could be treatment free for a long, long time, which saves the healthcare system a lot of money.
For now, the Pan-Canadian Pharmaceutical Alliance is continuing price negotiations with the drug maker of Carvykti, Johnson & Johnson. Our negotiation team has been dedicated to this file and has remained engaged throughout the process. As negotiations are two-way streets, we unfortunately don't have a timeline to share with you. Meanwhile, the 2-year delay is already a matter of life or death for some multiple myeloma patients.
I lost 7 people in 18 months. I mean, this drug could have been available for them.
When you're you're on your last line of treatment and there's nowhere else to go, that would save their lives.
Alberta's government says it hopes discussions can move forward, but that public funding for Carvykti isn't possible without an agreement. It means clinical trials or paying exorbitant amounts of money out of pocket stand as the only options.
Keep pushing your doctors, keep pushing your politicians.
Mark Villani, CTV News, Calgary.
The province says myeloma patients should continue working with their oncology teams to determine best available treatment options as those price negotiations continue.
This is CTV News, Calgary.
All right, let's bring Danielle back in as we look ahead to our 5-day forecast.
Yeah, and so we have some chunks of decent weather this weekend, but it won't be as warm or as wonderful for the most part as what we had today. Today was a full, stable day. It's been a while since we had something like that. And we got to normal temperatures, so we had the Goldilocks temperatures. Not too warm, not too cold, just right, with a high of 21 degrees for this time of year in Calgary. We're now down to 20. It's still 21 in through Brooks, in through Medicine Hat, 22 in Drumheller and Lethbridge. And the winds were calm today. Now, we just started to pick up, as anticipated, to 40 kilometers per hour in the city, but we've been around that 30 mark. Red Deer down through Calgary, Lethbridge, Pincher Creek for today. So it's been a calmer wind day. That will not be the case for tomorrow. Tomorrow we're looking at the winds picking up 50, even 60 kilometers per hour. We're not going to get the worst of this system. The worst of this system will be impacting central Alberta, where they actually have rainfall warnings in place. You can see this has already moved in there. Rainfall warnings in place. So north of Innisfail, north of Stettler. This is where the rainfall warnings are in place because 50 to even 100 millimeters of rain possible there. So we're going to see some of this. We're going to get some thunderstorm activity in southern Alberta. Let me give you a timeline here so you can make some plans if you haven't already. As we head through tomorrow in the morning hours, you can see this will predominantly be impacting central Alberta. This will track down though. So by 1, 2 o'clock, this is when it will make its way into Calgary. Isolated showers, winds picking up. 50, 60 kilometers per hour. We even have the risk of thunderstorms. And then those risks start to track off to the east and to the south by the supper hours. And as they track off to the east, the QE2, they could actually be quite intense. So they could reach that more severe criteria with that larger size hail and even more damaging wind gusts. All right, and then this system, here's Father's Day for you. Here, the system, this is 7:30 in the morning, starts to track down. So the core of it as it develops. So this will give more consistent rainfall through Sunday morning. The good news is, though, it does look like it's going to clear out closer to the supper hours. It will be a short-term clear out because this will return again for Monday morning. But we are looking at breaks from the active weather and the rainy weather, especially for Saturday morning and early afternoon and for later on the day on Sunday. It will be cooler on Sunday, just a high of 13 for Father's Day. You're looking at picking up 3 to 5 millimeters of rain on Saturday, another 2 to 4 on Sunday, gusts 50 to 60 kilometers per hour. So not ideal, but not the worst and not as bad as what they're going to get in central Alberta. 16 degrees on Monday with some showers continuing into the morning hours. By Tuesday, we get into a long-term stretch of actually about 5 to 6 days of sunny weather with daytime highs in the 20s. That's your Action Furnace 5-day forecast.
A record-breaking catch is making waves on BC's Fraser River. Chilliwack fishing guide group Sturgeon Slayers says it caught and released its largest white sturgeon ever. The massive 3.3 meter or 11-foot fish is estimated to weigh about 1,200 pounds. It was reeled in June 4th. The catch broke the previous record for a white sturgeon, also set by that group in 2021. Kevin Estrada, who founded Sturgeon Slayers in 2008, was in both boats when the benchmark catches were made 5 years apart. He says the takeaway of these record-setting fish is that conservation efforts are working.
We've never seen so many large fish. And that's in the data. And we've never seen so many juvenile fish, and we've been studying them for the last 6 years. So we're in a really good place here, and it's a good news story for everybody in British Columbia, Canadians, that we have an iconic species here in BC that's thriving.
It took 40 minutes to reel it in and 2 tape measures to determine the length. The fish was tagged before being released back into the Fraser. The group says white sturgeon can live for more than a century, making encounters like this an important opportunity for research and conservation. Just ahead, the hidden tension at Canada's latest Newcomer fair. Alberta's upcoming referendum and its 5 immigration questions are raising concerns. And try this one on for size, the quadruple XL sweater, fit for a rather beefy model. This fall, Albertans will vote in a provincial referendum. And while most of the talk has been about potential separation, half the questions on the ballot are about something totally different: immigration. Albertans will be asked whether the provincial government should limit the number of newcomers and restrict social services to Canadians and approved people only. As CTV's Kathy Lee reports, it's an unsettling prospect for some looking to call Alberta home.
This is going good, thank you.
Eager and determined, Ishrek Molla is looking for his next opportunity at this Newcomer fair in Calgary.
Looking for something in accounting or finance.
After coming to Canada 4 years ago to study business administration, Molla is now on a work permit, but recently lost his job.
You do feel bad for being let go, but you just have to get back up again. The job market is tough.
Adjusting in a new country was also tough, but support services helped him find his footing. Now, some of those supports are at the center of 5 immigration questions on Alberta's fall referendum ballot that could change which newcomers are eligible for some provincially funded services, including healthcare and education.
If the government does not support us, then who will? We do not have anyone else.
Smith has blamed former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's immigration policies for Alberta's population surge. But in early 2024, she was encouraging more people to move here.
Let's have an aggressive target to double our population.
Rapid population growth felt across the country has prompted Ottawa to curb immigration, citing strains on housing and public services. In Alberta, those same pressures are also being felt by settlement organizations. But the CEO of the Immigrant Education Society says the challenges facing the province are complex.
Any issue in the society is very complicated. It's unfair to only blame newcomers. They come here because we welcome them here.
For Molla, he says he has felt very welcomed in Canada.
I've integrated myself into the society
and wants other newcomers to have the same experience. For now, his focus is building the life he came here for.
I've seen a lot of people succeed.
And he hopes one day he'll be one of them. Kathy Lee, CTV News, Calgary.
When you're out on the ocean, you don't always know what lies beneath. This drone operator did, though, capturing a very tense encounter between surfer and shark. A hobby farmer from Vulcan County has taken her crocheting skills to the next level. Jasmine Entz often stitched little sweaters for her newborn goats to keep them warm. Then she decided to go big, really big, with all that leftover yarn. She started crocheting sweaters for her retired dairy cow, Josie. Each one takes about 30 hours, so she is now crocheting one sweater a month. She hopes to have 12 by the end of the year, and she will make a calendar.
I would go out there every day and I would put it on her and see how it fit. And then if I needed to backtrack, I could undo it and redo it. The internet absolutely loved it. Like, it brought so many smiles to people, which really made me smile, because that was kind of the whole point, is, you know, it'll be fun.
Now, if Entz seems familiar, we have profiled her before. Last year, her other pet, Beef, remember, caught national attention as the world's tallest steer. She says now it's Josie's turn for the spotlight. That is fantastic.
Josie seems to like that too.
I don't think Josie minds the sweaters.
Not at all.
No. Yeah.
Loves
well,
it.
have you guys ever noticed sometimes it's hard to tell how old people are these days?
Yes.
People look young. So we're going to kick things off with a game of Spot the Teacher. This one's hard. There is a teacher hiding in this student lineup.
Is
so
it the
look
one covering
carefully.
her face there?
Look here. Do you think that's who it is?
I don't know. Or there.
I don't know.
Okay. We're going to
One of the far
see
right?
who it is. That's her.
No way.
Her name is Miss Burnell. She snuck in there looking just like one of her students. She has tricked over 8 million people who've watched this video.
And I believe
That's how young she looks. Yeah.
Well, she just tricked, what, 2 more?
Yeah.
That's
It's
a
hard to
compliment
tell.
right there.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Planning a surprise for someone is not always easy. So what about multiple surprises? Okay, so this lady named Hannah wanted to surprise her husband for his 50th birthday. Not once, 5 times she got him on the way to Venice. So her husband, Leon, he was pretty elated that his close friends were showing up at various locations on the trip. So side of the road, at the airport bar, even inside his bed in the hotel room. They got to Venice, 2 more waiting for them there.
Leon must feel like the most special person in the world,
That would be so fun.
That would be a lot
pick up
of
all your
work,
friends
but
along the way. It really would
Look
be.
how fun.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That's a good way to bring in your new decade. Well, surfers in California probably encounter ocean life all the time, but there are some you would probably rather not see up close. This drone video was taken off the coast of Santa Cruz recently, and the shark is seen lurking after the man on the board caught its attention. He kind of starts to circle the surfer. At one point, he goes right up behind him within a few feet.
Whoa.
And then he peels off to the side again. We don't know whether the surfer actually ever knew the shark was there. It's hard to tell from above how deep that shark is.
He's right there.
Yeah, it does.
That's when I would just die.
Yeah. Well, then you would be sushi, Danielle.
Exactly.
You need to stay alive to swim away.
Terrifying.
That's the truth.
Yes.
Surfing out.
Yes. Canadian retail trade is on track to rise for a 5th straight month. No surprise, a lot of the spending came at the gas pumps. We have the details in our business report.
Here's your Skywatch weather camera. What a stunning day today. We got to a high of 21 degrees. The winds were calm. They are starting to pick up a little now, up to 40 kilometers per hour. But all day we had the sun out. We had a high of 21. The winds were calm. And now things are starting to change a little bit. In comparison to the rest of the country, well, it seems pretty standard across the country. Definitely more heat off to the east. Halifax got to a high of 25 today, and Fredericton 24. Right now in southern Alberta, 21 in Brooks and Medicine Hat, 21 in Pincher Creek, Milk River, 22 in Lethbridge. So we're still holding on to the heat. Stunning evening, so enjoy it as much as you can. These are relatively calm winds, but we did kick up to 40 in this last hour in Calgary, and we have 40 km/h gusts at times possible through the evening hours. This system will mainly impact central Alberta. That's where they are looking at 50 to even 100 millimeters of rain in some isolated spots. We will see some active weather from this in southern Alberta, and for Calgary specifically, after 1 p.m. is when we get into a chance of isolated showers and thunderstorm activity, and gusts will start to pick up to 60 km/h. But for a big part of the day, throughout the morning up until 1 in the afternoon, it looks pretty nice with just a mix of sun and cloud. This is your 24-hour forecast brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed right or it's free. 23 in Kamloops for tomorrow. Golden will see some showers. Edmonton, Slave Lake, Red Deer, Rocky Mountain House looking at that heavier rain and more instability. Olds likely as well. For Calgary, we're looking at getting that closer to the 1 in the afternoon, and then less likely to see any of that activity in the far south, and temperatures will be even hotter. High 20s, Lethbridge for Medicine Hat as well.
Police say teachers and students were threatened by a knife-wielding teen at a Calgary high school. It happened yesterday at Lester B. Pearson. There were no serious injuries. A 17-year-old former student is now facing a number of charges, including attempted murder. A man convicted of a vicious assault on a Calgary bus driver that left him clinging to life has been sentenced to 4 years in prison. The 67-year-old driver sustained serious injuries that prevent him from returning to work. And a large commercial vehicle went off a bridge near Grand Prairie. The driver died, and now divers are waiting to get into that submerged vehicle. Living with dementia is challenging not only for the person diagnosed, but for the family caregivers too. One Calgary family is selling artwork created by their father before he was diagnosed to help with his medical expenses. They say it's a way to celebrate him and his passion for art, much of which was inspired by where he grew up in Uganda. Here's Kevin Fleming.
It's only been 3 years since a stroke led to a diagnosis of early onset dementia. Now Donisius Oneka spends his days in bed in the family's Bridgeland apartment.
It was so rapidly, so completely derail him out of the community, sick, and that's the situation he's in now.
Nora and her daughter Vivian are the primary caregivers.
He can no longer walk by himself, or he can't do much by himself without a lot of assistance. And then now he's currently bedridden, so he's unable to really move or even speak and like communicate with us. So it's just a lot of trying to engage with him the best we can.
Donisius grew up in Uganda and has sketched and painted most of his life, turning it into a career. But after immigrating to Canada, art became secondary to supporting his family.
I think it's the environment itself inspired him a lot. The way people live in the environment, the way the understanding of nature within the community, how people get interacted with one another.
The family kept all the paintings, and Vivian came up with an idea to share her dad's legacy on social media and possibly sell some of it.
It was really exciting. The first sale I got, I like ran to my mom and I was like, someone bought a painting. And I was like on the verge of tears because it was just so cool to see.
Vivian put 9 paintings up for sale on Etsy, and 3 were snapped up.
We've decided to save the funds to put towards any like medical needs that he requires. So things like medicine, or if we need like anything in terms of caring for him further, is just being put away for that.
Nora says her husband's desire was always to share his artwork, and now he's getting to do that. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
The federal government has announced a 10% tariff on canned vegetables coming into the country. The new tariff will be in place for a maximum of 200 days, while an inquiry examines whether imports are hurting domestic producers. If not, the tariff will be lifted. A number of countries are exempted, including the U.S. and Mexico. Canadian retail sales were up 0.5% in April. BNN Bloomberg's Marla Fernandez has more.
Canadians spent more on filling up their vehicles, no surprise, given the higher cost of fuel as a result of the Iran conflict. In April, Canadians spent $7.5 billion to gas up, or about 5% more than they did in March. Sales of vehicles and parts were also up in April, with both new and used car dealers getting a boost. Retail sales were up the most in Ontario, followed by Alberta. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down to 70.55. West Texas Intermediate is up to 77.54. Western Canadian Select down to 62.30. And the TSX lost 111 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marella Fernandez.
A super yacht reportedly owned by billionaire Mark Zuckerberg was spotted in the Gulf Islands this week. The 119-meter vessel named Launchpad was built in 2024 for a reported $300 million U.S. It's often accompanied by a support ship named Wingman. The vessel was spotted anchored off South Pender Island after spending several days in Seattle. Online brokerage Yacht World described it as one of the most expensive private vehicles in the world. Scores of celebrities were in Vancouver to attend the World Cup match between Canada and Qatar. The Canadian men's soccer team is celebrating a number of FIFA firsts. Last night was the team's first World Cup win, first hat trick, and the first time Canada has been positioned to advance to the next round. CTV's Heather Wright has more on the squad's rise.
One day after the biggest day in the history of Canadian men's soccer, the team took to the training pitch at the University of British Columbia. The mood, bittersweet. A blowout 6-0 win over Qatar, which came with the loss of star Ismail Kone, who broke his leg in yesterday's match.
I was really proud of the team to feel the emotion, but also stay focused on the task at hand.
The task at hand was to win, which the team did decisively.
In World Cup history, there's never been such a dominant performance. That's the truth. And so I think our team will take a lot of confidence from that.
It's the first World Cup win ever for the men's team in only its third appearance. Up until this year, the Canadian men had never earned a World Cup point, a sign of how far the program has come.
This team checked a lot of boxes in the past couple of years, and the way and the fashion that we did was something that we're very proud.
Following the game, the Prime Minister visited the team's dressing room, praising their character.
But you showed a level of character that some people never achieve in their life.
A question going into this tournament, is Canada now a footballing nation? Based on the crowd yesterday and the result on the field, the answer seems to be an emphatic yes.
It was a tremendous sign. We don't have to hold our breath anymore or bite our nails. We're there.
From the outset, the goal of this team has been to win their group, which would allow them to remain in Vancouver for the first match of the knockout stage. To do that, they need at least a draw against Switzerland, a game that goes Wednesday in Vancouver. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
There's a big matchup at McMahon Stadium this weekend. The Green and White are in town, no doubt bringing Rider Nation with them. This isn't going to be an easy game. Glenn has a look ahead next. Calgary referee Drew Fisher will get his first shot at being the ref at a World Cup match. Fisher will be leading a Canadian crew at Monday's game between France and Iraq at 3 p.m. Mountain Time. The 45-year-old was the fourth official in a game last week. The Calgary Stampeders will try to pick up their first win of the season tomorrow night. Glenn is back with us, and Glenn, the Stamps are facing a tough opponent.
Tara, the Stamps go up against the defending Grey Cup champs. Of course, we're talking about the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Always a great atmosphere when the Sasky rides into town. Stamps running back Dedrick Mills is looking forward to the challenge. Stamps running back Dedrick Mills made the most of his bye week. It was his wife Jasmine's birthday, and they spent a day at Universal Studios in California, then wrapped things up with a cruise to Mexico. He says he's feeling good.
My whole body came back today feeling refreshed, feeling good, legs feeling fresh and ready to go.
Last year, Mills won the CFL's rushing title. He rushed for 1,409 yards, and it looks like he's picked up right where he left off. In the Stamps opener against the Bombers, Mills racked up 112 yards along the ground.
Very satisfied with the way the O-line and the way the coaches called the plays and the way the O-line opened up the holes for me to just get through and make the plays that we needed to make to put ourselves in a position to win.
Stamps head coach and GM Dave Dickinson was pleased with Mills' effort in Game 1, but feels he has even more to offer.
Just keep working. Yeah, it was a good start, and I'm happy for him, but just keep finding ways to be better and keep making sure that you show up with a plan to get better.
Mills says he'll do all he can to help his team win.
Personally, man, there's always more to give, and there's always more to give to this game, man. Like I say, man, I'm there for anything, anywhere they need me at, any position they need me to go out for routes, I'm there. They need me to block for people, I'm there. If they need me to run the ball, I'm there. And they want me to play quarterback a little bit, I'm there.
Mills knows the Stamps will have to be on top of their game if they want to come away with a victory against the Riders.
I mean, they're the defending Grey Cup champions, man. They're a pretty good team, pretty solid all the way around. Got a great quarterback, great offensive line, great running back. Great defenses overall. I mean, I like to give those guys their respect because they proved themselves. They showed us what they got. But like for us, we got to come out and be the more physical team like we did last year.
Stamps and Riders kick off of that game at McMahon Stadium a little after 5 o'clock tomorrow night. Well, it's Father's Day on Sunday. Good time to spend some time with your family and, of course, watch a little U.S. Open golf. Second round action from Shinnecock Hills on Long Island, New York. Matt Fitzpatrick, par 4 14th. This to save his par. Lucky the pin's there. Fitzpatrick, he is at 3 under par. Many golfers like Xander Schauffele had to come out early to finish their first round. Doesn't seem to bother him. Par 4 6, the 6th the birdie. That gets him to 3 under in the second round. That's where he ends up. Rory McIlroy out in the afternoon, par 5 5th, had this short putt for the bird, and he will get it to go to 2 under par. That's where he was even par. But everyone chasing Wyndham Clark. He also had to finish his first round in the morning. This was his final hole of the day, par 4 18th. Clark, ready for the putt there. He is at 7 under par, and Clark will take a 4-shot lead over 4 golfers heading into the weekend. Corey Connors, the lone Canadian to make the cut. He's at 1 over par. And at the Peloton Glencoe Invitational, Blair Bursey has the lead after 2 rounds in the men's professional division. He's 6 under. Jared Code of the Glencoe Golf and Country Club leads the amateur side at 2 under. Women's side, Lauren Zaretsky, she leads the way in the female professional division, 3 under par. And Miranda Liu, she leads the way in the female amateur division.
All right. It's not going to be so wet that dads can't get out there and golf for Father's Day, is it?
Right, Danielle?
There will be moments where it's so wet. There will be moments where it's pretty okay. Neither day will be as nice and as perfect as today. Today was sunny, winds were calm, and we had perfect temperatures. Tomorrow, a little on the cooler side. In the afternoon, it will be gusting up to 60 kilometers per hour. It will be nice in the morning, but by 1 in the afternoon, that's when the showers and the risk of thunderstorms begins. And this will continue in through Saturday morning with rainfall, and then clear out by closer to the supper hours on Sunday. So by about 4 or 5 o'clock is when it starts to settle down again. So
that's what a poncho's for, right?
Yeah.
Well, at least I can barbecue.
Yeah.
We can't be afraid of rain, and you said there's lots of golf on TV, so there you go. Next week, there's a huge long stretch of temperatures in the 20s and lots of sunshine. Okay, weather window brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors, crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, and Alberta's climate. Smiley face. Happy Father's Day.
Have a terrific weekend. Thanks for your company tonight.